Tonight, questions about when government might deliver on one of its healthcare promises.
Another rally was held here in front of the James Payton Memorial Hospital today.
We're still trying to hold people accountable for the promises that they have made.
We'll have that story tonight on Here Now.
I have 3 children and I need a 3-bedroom house, and it's very expensive.
2 years since the start of the Russian invasion, thousands of Ukrainian refugees now call this province home.
After a snowstorm wiped out the last series here at the Mary Brown Center, the Newfoundland Rogues are back on home court. I'm live down at the stadium and have all the deets coming up.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. We start at a rally in Gander. People there want to know when the obstetrics unit will open. Health Minister Tom Osborne promised the unit over a year ago, but still has no details on when it will be ready. Without that unit, pregnant women have to travel to Grand Falls, Windsor for services. Here and Now's Troy Turner has that story.
With beeps of support and signs of solidarity, these people are pushing the government to keep its promise sooner rather than later. About 20 of them gathered in front of the hospital in a public display of their frustration.
We're not going to back down. We're not going to stay quiet. So we're here on the highway today, basically literally right on the highway in these conditions, which is kind of what these families and these moms have had to do for the last year and some. So we just want to say that we're there in solidarity with them.
And among the local demonstrators and their signs of support was the former health minister.
This is a key piece of health service and it's necessary, and the people here need it. They're on the road in weather like this when really they should be in a warm bed looking for an exciting day in their lives as a family.
Health Minister Tom Osborne first promised the unit would reopen by the end of fall, but that didn't happen. Then came a commitment from NL Health Services it would open early in the new year. No word since then, and expectant mothers are waiting and wondering. Meanwhile, Haggie says he's been working behind the scenes to help make this happen.
Essentially, that lies with Central Health or Central Zone. The direction has been very clear, the Premier, the Minister, and I've spoken with the CEO of NLHS, and my understanding is it's all here. All the pieces are in place. Let's get on with it.
We're still trying to hold people accountable for the promises that they have made. 1 year ago, we were told that obstetrics would reopen here in Gander, and it's been 1 year that we have been fighting and making our voices heard.
We reached out to the Newfoundland and Labrador Health Services for an update on when we can expect to see the unit open. There's been no response today. Troy Turner, CBC News, Gander.
Now, the Newfoundland and Labrador Health Services did send an email response this afternoon, and in it, the health authority says it's still committed to opening the obstetrics unit in early 2024, but it's still finalizing a date. Well, the leader of the provincial opposition has formally requested an investigation into the province's use of travel nurses. The move comes amid ongoing criticism of the government's handling of the nursing shortage. Tony Wakeham has written to both the Auditor General and the RCMP, asking them to look into the contract between the health authority and the private nursing company. A Globe and Mail report revealed travel nurses were able to expense things like cabs, furniture, and cable bills. It also found the province gave Canadian Health Labs $1.6 million for nurse meal allowances, money nurses said they didn't receive. Now, Wakeham says that suggests fraudulent activity and accuses the government of awarding a sole-sourced contract to the firm with no financial controls in place. Well, Saturday marks the second anniversary of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Nearly 6.5 million Ukrainians have fled the country, according to the United Nations. Thousands of them now call Newfoundland and Labrador home, and more are expected to arrive over the next month. Here Now's Heather Gillis reports.
Yes, transfer for money in my hand. Olena Holenska is learning English at the Association for New Canadians Language School in St. John's. Today's lesson, banking.
Interest, good.
Holenska has been in St. John's since September 2022. Before that, Mariupol, where for her, rocket attacks started in 2015.
And kill too much people.
This weekend marks 2 years since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine began, now dragging into its third year. Holenska's brother is a soldier, wounded in Bakhmut after an explosion. She calls him a hero. And while her thoughts are in Ukraine, Holenska says she's getting settled here in Canada.
I have my class, learn English. I have a job. Yes, I have a job. After school, I am go to a job and I'm happy.
She's one of nearly 3,800 Ukrainians now living in Newfoundland and Labrador. The province created a Ukrainian family support desk in Poland, in-person staff to help people immigrate and find jobs, even chartering flights to bring people to the province. Though more Ukrainian refugees are arriving on their own each month. People like Victoria Lamia Shonok, who arrived in May, and her newfound friend Valentina Korzak, who came with her 3 children 4 months ago. Both have found jobs, but right now they call this Holiday Inn hotel their home, while they look for housing in a tight and expensive rental market.
And I need a 3-bedroom house, and it's very expensive because salary not very high, but we really try.
Meanwhile, the Association of New Canadians is expecting an influx of people from Ukraine until the end of March, because that's when the emergency travel program for Ukrainians comes to an end. Elizabeth Ares says 200 Ukrainians have arrived in February alone, and they're expecting that many or more next month. But there is uncertainty about what will happen once settlement help expires next year.
They're nervous, you know, our clients are very nervous about what's going to happen, what comes next. And we can't give them answers at the moment. And, you know, we just reassure them that we're there for them and we will be there to help them every step of the way. And that's all we can do at the moment until we have more information.
Meanwhile, Olena Holenska knows one thing. She wants to stay in Canada forever.
It's my dream, yeah.
Heather Gillis, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, the province and the teachers' union say they have a few new ideas to try to recruit and retain teachers. It's part of what they call a teachers' think tank held today. The education minister says government is giving the NLTA nearly $500,000 to expand mental health supports for teachers. They're also expanding student assistant hours in the province's English schools and creating 2 new teaching positions in the French school system to cover teacher absences. And next school year, they're adding 1 professional learning day for the next 3 years to focus on the mental health of teachers.
It's long overdue in many ways. The mental health of all of our employees is top of mind, because unless we have healthy people at the front of our classrooms and in the trenches, we're certainly not going to have healthy children. And this is what this is about. We're seeing day in and day out in our schools so that we're a reflection of society. Our children are ending up in addiction centers, they're ending up in the penitentiary, they're ending up in Tent City. And I really do believe with the proper mental health supports, through supporting our teachers and supporting our students, that we can cut off that pathway.
Well, some airline passengers in this province may be trying to salvage their summer travel plans after Lynx Air filed for creditor protection. The Calgary-based low-cost airline has been operating summer flights out of St. John's since July 2022. The company says it's ceasing operations as of Monday. It says it can't overcome financial pressures like rising operating costs and fuel prices. Lynx Air will continue to operate flights through the weekend, but all flights after Sunday are canceled. The Airline Pilots Union says 160 pilots and flight crew will be affected. As of last summer, Lynx employed about 420 people in total. A St. John's-based company is at the center of a major deal in Canada's seafood industry. Ocean Choice International has sold its offshore scallop quota to 3 Nova Scotia companies in a deal worth over $200 million. The CBC's Paul Withers has that story.
Ocean Choice held nearly 17% of Canada's offshore scallop quota, caught mostly on George's Bank off southern Nova Scotia. But the company's factory trawler Atlantic Destiny sank there in 2021, and CEO Martin Sullivan says they've opted not to replace it.
We had to make a decision on a new vessel. You know, with the current economic climate, with interest rates and everything, it was a hard decision to make.
The quota has been sold to Como Seafoods in Saulnieville, LaHave Seafoods in Lunenburg, and Mersey Seafoods in Liverpool. Greg Simpson is Mersey president.
This almost doubles our quota. Just a great investment for the company, and hopefully sends a strong sign to everyone at Mersey that we're in this for the long haul, and this is exactly what we do. We're a fishing company.
Ocean Choice is consolidating its fishing operations in Newfoundland and Labrador. Under the deal, it's getting cod, turbot, and redfish quota off that province owned by the buyers. Financial terms were not disclosed, but permanent scallop quota sells for over $100 a pound, putting the value of OCI's quota at over $200 million. Paul Withers, CBC News, Halifax.
Certainly a slick morning this morning thanks to some freezing rain out there. The airport reporting anywhere from 10 to 11 hours of freezing rain last night. So if we take a look at some of the rainfall totals, though, really anywhere from 15 to 32 millimeters fell for most areas across the Avalon. St. John's reported about 17 millimeters of rain with that. That has since moved off. It was actually a pretty nice day today. We do have another area of low pressure to the north. That's going to bring some cold air eventually in through the weekend. But this area of low pressure is going to bring some much milder air across the island. Environment Canada does have a number of warnings in place, rainfall warnings, wreck house wind warning, as well as a freezing rain warning in effect. Now we're talking about the potential for upwards of 100 millimeters of rain falling. We'll get into all the details when I come back.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, the Newfoundland Rogues are back in action after the winter weather over the past week postponed a 3-game series against the London Lightning. The team took down the Reading Rebels on Wednesday in what turned out to be a historic night for the team and the new Basketball Super League. Here now's Jeremy Eaton knows all about it. He's down at the Mary Brown Centre live getting ready for tonight's 7 p.m. tip-off. So, Jeremy, what did happen on Wednesday night?
So I'm not sure if you can see DeMarcus Collins is there. He's the guy in the yellow top there, just turned around. He had a record-breaking night. He dropped 45 points here on Wednesday. That's the most ever scored in a basketball game by a Newfoundland Rogue, and also the most ever scored in a Basketball Super League game. But he's a very humble, very kind young man, and he said he was just more happy to get the win. He was happier to get the win, than to score the 45 points. But I chatted with him and Coach Geary earlier today about what they thought about how this series was going so far and the 45-point night. So just take a quick look at this here.
Ball side guys, so you're going here, boom. Anytime you get extra practice in, it's good for a professional team, you know, but to be honest with you, the island was shut down, so it was hard for us to even get in and get practices sometimes. So, but we did get a few extra practices in. I wish the London series could have happened. We was looking forward to bringing them guys in, you know, handing them a loss as well, which we haven't beat London yet, so we're looking forward to that. So maybe it'll happen at the end of the season. We'll get them in, and, you know, we'll see what happens. Bucket. Got the first one out of the way, which is always the hardest one. So, you know, our goal is to win the series, get 2 out of 3. But right now, with this situation, we want all 3 games. So that's the goal for this series, to get all 3 and take care of home court. And that's, you know, that's what I feel we're going to do.
Me personally, one of the best shooting days of my life. We won the game pretty much. That was really the biggest part. 45 points, 13 rebounds, 17 for 24 from the field, and 8 for 13 from 3.
Are you aware that you're having such a good game in the middle of it?
I'm aware, but I'm really just present in the moment, just, you know, on to the next play. But that really just comes from my confidence and the work I put in.
What advice would you offer young basketball players who come out and watch you put up 45 points?
It didn't start like this. Honestly, I've been working at this my whole life, the only sport I played. So it's 25 years of work that you see right now. It feels good, especially knowing, like I said, my routine and my repetition is paying off. But I'm still hungry. I'm not satisfied at all. Yeah, at all.
So what would satisfy that hunger inside you?
BSL championship.
For me, it's the win. You know, individual accolades, they come and go. Tonight, somebody else will get 30. You know, that's the type of team we have. I'm happy for him individually, but for me, for myself, and for our organization, a win is way more important than any individual guy getting 45, 50 points.
Good shot, bud. Oh. So you can see the players here are just getting some final shots in before the game kicks off in about 39 minutes against the Reading Rebels from Pennsylvania. Now, obviously, every game is important as they try to make their way towards the playoffs, and tonight will be no difference. Everyone's a little bit excited to be back after the London Lightning series got canceled due to snow. Now, we're going to have some special guests coming up later on the show, and you're not going to want to miss this because it has nothing to do with basketball, but it is wild. Anyways, reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Jeremy Eaton down at the Mary Brown Center in St. John's.
I'm curious. Well, in other news, both the federal and provincial governments are expanding the oil to electric incentive program. It started in 2021 to try to get people off of oil and onto electric heating. Now government is hoping to more than double the number of households in the program. But what does that mean for you? Here and Now's Mike Moore explains.
A major concern on a lot of minds in the last few years is how you're going to be able to heat your home when you're on oil. Well, today the provincial and federal governments announced more money, $24 million as an expansion to a program that already exists. That helps people get off oil heating and moves them to electric heat pumps. Now, the program has already helped just over 2,000 homes in Newfoundland and Labrador switch from oil to heat pumps. They're hoping to reach at least 3,000 more. Environment Minister Bernard Davis made the announcement in St. John's today.
What it allows us to do is hit more people and give more generous grants to those individuals that need it the most vulnerable, the people in the middle class or trying to get to the middle class. That's the challenging ones that we've seen as a barrier in the previous programs because you needed the money up front. I do say to people that get on the list as quick as you can, get people into your home to evaluate it and get on their lists to get the work done. It does take some time, but the benefits are very, very good.
So if you think you missed the boat the first time around, now's your chance to switch from oil to a heat pump. Eligible families can get up to $22,000. Mike Moore, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, at the Strand Salon in Gander, you can get a cut, some color, and a cat if you want. The owners there are helping some kitties find their forever home. The CBC's Martin Jones reports.
The Strand Salon in Gander has a special relationship with the local SPCA shelter. Co-owners Amber Hanlon and Amy Cheeks have been fostering cats for about a year now. Sally is the latest furry addition, making her the salon's 16th foster cat.
Her nickname is Dainty Ankles because she's so small. So she's 3 years old. She came from a home that had a lot of other cats. She didn't have the best upbringing. She was super, super shy when we got her, but now she's been laying down in clients' laps. She's very food motivated. She loves a treat and loves to be pet. So she's really playful. She's great.
Sally has made herself at home at the Strand. The customers, well, they don't seem to mind one bit.
I had a client yesterday who is afraid of cats, but she said since she's been coming here and seeing the cats in like an environment where it's kind of like controlled, she feels more comfortable around them now.
Hanlon and Cheeks admit they never expected to foster 16 cats in a single year. But it turns out their partnership with the Gander SPCA really works.
A lot of cats that we had, they had been at the shelter for over 200 days without an adoption, and they come here and they've been here for 6 days and have left. Wow. So, like, we had one cat and she was here for 3 hours and got adopted. No way. It was, in 1 week we had 3 cats adopted.
One of our cats had a problem where she had licked all her fur off. So while she was here, her fur grew back. So I don't know if it's like a salon thing or if it's just like a relaxation thing, but she really felt comfortable here enough to like stop licking all her fur off.
So we'll take all the riffraff. Yeah. We'll take whoever.
Martin Jones, CBC News, Gander.
And some happy news there. That adorable cat you saw, Sally, aka Dainty Ankles, well, she has been adopted.
It's going to be a wet and warm weekend. Temperatures already much warmer today, but you're going to see a big difference tomorrow, especially on the West Coast. I'll get into all the details in a few minutes.
All right, Ashley, it's Friday, and what a beautiful way to end the work week today. It was so nice outside earlier. The sun was shining and almost felt like spring.
It certainly felt like spring. That's exactly what I thought as I was leaving this morning, for sure. But it's a fooled spring, I guess, at this point, because there's maybe 5 more of them over the next couple of months. But for today, we'll take it. 1 degree in St. John's today. Lots of melting happening thanks to some of that rain as well. 6 degrees in Badger this afternoon. Cape Brace picked up a temperature around 5 degrees this afternoon, and temperatures up across Labrador mild as well. Happy Valley Goose Bay above 0 at +2 this afternoon. So you dropped a degree so far, down to about 1 this evening, and wind chill just a little cooler than that. Certainly seeing some cooler temperatures though up across Nain at -20, and then the island generally hovering around 0 or about +1 at the moment right now. So temperatures in Port aux Basques at -1 as well. You are actually going to see your temperatures climbing as we head into the morning hours, and that's ahead of our next weather maker, which will move in tonight. We're already starting to see some of those flurries, but some of those pinks are certainly showing up on the radar as well, as you can see that just to the south. So we are looking at the potential for that snow to change over to freezing rain, especially in those higher elevations along the southwest coast of the island, particularly around the Burgeo area, but again in those higher elevations. So we will see these flurries continue to track a little bit further north. In fact, by the time we get to about 10 or 11 o'clock, we should actually start to see that change over to rain in some cases, certainly towards the coast. But if you are inland and in those higher elevations, you may see that snow stick around a little longer, but definitely that potential showing up in the pink there for the freezing rain in those higher elevations around the Burgeo area, and really even into tomorrow morning as well. Otherwise, just some flurries will work their way across Labrador. Temperatures will be quite cold in Lab City tonight at -24, otherwise hovering again around the minus single digits, but again that warm up for the southwest coast. Port aux Basques about 1 degree overnight, otherwise sitting into the minus single digits again. So if you do have any wet surfaces, maybe put some salt down, because once we see those temperatures drop, things will definitely freeze up. So a number of warnings in place. Significant rainfall on the way from essentially Gros Morne through to Port aux Basques and over to Burgeo. We could be seeing upwards of 100 millimeters of rain in those higher elevations. And then that wreck house wind warning, that will be for tomorrow. So let's just time that out. The heavy rain will arrive tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow morning, really. And when this does happen, temperatures are going to be quite mild as well. So it will lead to a lot of melting and a lot of pooling of water on roads. Now, I do think that the highest amounts of rainfall will fall in those higher elevations, but hopefully it will fall over a longer period of time. But I do think there's certainly a potential for some flooding. So the best thing to do is to find your storm drains and clear them of snow before all of that starts to happen. We are going to see some of that rain, though, towards the strait or along the strait there. North of that, it should fall as snow. But in behind that, we're going to see some much colder temperatures, and that is going to freeze all of that standing water through the night on Saturday and into Sunday. But eventually we will see that rain move towards eastern areas of the island as well. And again, that colder air will move in as we head into Sunday. Rainfall totals, just to give you an idea, really 30 to 50 is a good bet in some areas, but the highest elevations, inland areas along the southwest coast, like I said, could pick up between 75 to 100 millimeters of rain. Tomorrow, look at your temperatures. 5 to 8 degrees across the board, a little cooler for the northern peninsula. Winds will ramp up as well. And then for Labrador, you are looking at some cooler air to the west, where you will sit this one out. But again, some milder air to the east. We'll talk about the long range when I come back.
Hi everyone, I'm Jane Adey, host of Land and Sea. We have a brand new show coming up for you this weekend. It's a show all about outdoor swimming. And today I'm on Topsail Beach, and I'm joined by a group of women who swim outdoors all year long. This is Erin Power, Carrie Cochran, and Erin Barnhart. And these ladies call themselves the Cold Water Cowgals. So let's learn a bit about what they do. So Erin, tell us a bit about what you wear when you go in the water.
Well, we wear our bathing suits, and over the bathing suit we have a little neoprene jacket that we put on, and then we wear some neoprene boots and neoprene gloves, and that's it. Maybe a little fancy hat, and that's all. A nice Land and Sea hat, perhaps.
And Carrie, so tell me, you go out in all conditions, do you?
Yes, as long as the ocean is safe and it's not too wavy. Like, we'll go out in rain, sleet, snow, all of it. As long as the ocean is safe to get in, We just love it. And the coldest I think we've swam in is -4 in the water and -15 out of the water. So yeah, we love it.
Yeah, pretty tropical today here on Topsail Beach. This could pass. It's hard to believe it's February. This could pass for a nice summer day in June.
Yeah, it's so true.
Erin, tell me what you love about winter swimming in particular.
Well, we actually love the cold. The reset that you get from getting in the cold water with your friends, having a laugh. There's really something that it does to your nervous system, to your body, and most of all, it's great to get outside and get fresh air 12 months of the year.
You can catch this show. It's called Outdoor Dipping. It's coming on Sunday at 11:30. That's 11 o'clock in most of Labrador. And if you happen to miss it on Sunday, you can always catch it on Monday right after Here and Now.
The gathering place in St. John's is getting much bigger, with more shelter and housing space set to open later this year in the former Sisters of Mercy Convent. But before the nearly 200-year-old building is ready to welcome guests, there's a lot of work to be done. Just have a look at this.
Watch the walls, Daryl. They got some nails and stuff stuck out of them.
Right. Why is it important to preserve so much of the older features of this building?
So this was built in 1842, but as you can see, it's a beautiful building. There's so many beautiful, rock walls in the building. They had to be, all the exterior walls had to be covered up. So anywhere we have an interior wall like this one, we decided that we would picture frame it so we can leave it exposed and be a feature of the room. We wanted to leave exposed as much as we could without compromising the building code and also proper building practices. We're on the second floor now, which will be transitional housing. And on this floor, we have a combination of congregate living. So I think there's 7 beds going in this one. And then just outside the door down the hall, we'll have individual rooms that will also be isolation rooms. I was recently had a flu, and I often thought about if I had to live in a shelter, how would I ever get over it? This will fix all that. So that someone becomes sick, we have isolation rooms in a place where they can go to recover. We'll be using for housing as well, but if someone gets sick and needs a room, we can move people around. Now, if you're in old churches and old chapels, there's a beautiful space.
Yeah.
And we have ideas that we want to use this space for. This is not only hugely important to the gathering place, but it's also very important for the community. We have a circumstance in society, not only here in Newfoundland and Labrador, but across the country and throughout North America for that matter, where there's a level of homelessness and people who are precariously housed like we've never experienced before. But not only is there demand for shelter, but there's also demand for long-term housing. So our new 3rd and 4th floor here, supportive housing, will have about 30 beds, 30 rooms available for people. Our transitional housing will be around 20 beds, and our new shelter will be around 40 beds. So that gives 90 new beds and 3 different levels of housing for the people who need it most. And it is really needed in our community today.
Well, that was Paul Davis giving the CBC's Daryl Roberts a tour of the Gathering Place expansion. Well, in other news, some Newfoundlanders and Labradorians are setting up a fund to help support our province's Black community. And they're holding a fundraiser this weekend. It's called Roots and Rhythms, a Black mutual aid gala, and they spoke about it with the CBC's Heather Barrett.
The fund itself can be determined by its users or by whoever's in charge of it. And of course, where I have a cooperative background, I want not only me to be a part of that creation process, but I'm actually calling in some other Black experts from the community to establish more of a process around how the funds will be allocated and kind of the premise for allocation of funds. So right now we're looking at predominantly service or project-based initiatives for the fund. We're looking at everything from helping folks meet their bills at the end of the month to helping them advocate or amplify their voice specifically in the Black community. It's not common, or not uncommon, I should say, for folks in the Black community here to use our own money to advance our own struggles. We usually use our own resources to amplify our own voices. And so the mutual fund is to take some of that burden off.
I guess when I first came in 2017, there wasn't really any African restaurants or Nigerian restaurant, but they've come up. And so there's those things, when I feel like I miss the food from home, I still have access to that. When I feel like I miss the music, I still have access to that, because the Afrobeat scene here in Newfoundland, you'll be surprised, but it's actually booming, and there are artists, I guess, such as myself, that come up every day, and so you still get that feel of home, and so it's a nice mix because we did come out here for new experiences, and so getting the mix of that and getting the mix of a taste of home sometimes with the organizations that I found myself in, I guess I would say it's been nice so far.
Well, that fundraiser is happening this Sunday from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Benevolent Irish Society in St. John's. And to hear the full interview with Helena and Cassie, you can tune in to Wham on CBC Radio tomorrow morning around 8:30 Newfoundland time. Okay, we're going to bounce back now to the Mary Brown Center where Jeremy Eaton is keeping an eye on the Newfoundland Rogues this evening. Now the team is gearing up to face the Reading Rebels. Now Jeremy, you gave us that tease earlier that you said your guest had nothing to do with basketball and that it was going to be wild. And now I see why, because there's a wrestling ring down there. What's that about?
Oh, it's not the first time. This is the second time that they've done wrestling here with the Rogues. But this is phenomenal. They've set up this rink right down here. All the kids have come. A lot of.
Looking very heavenly right now.
This is wild. Not gonna lie to you. This is wild. Anyway, so this is wrestling going on, but we're gonna talk to the guy behind it and talk to you. This is Brandon. Brandon, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So what are we looking at here behind us?
Well, this is Atlantic Championship Wrestling. We started roughly around 2 years ago. So what we're doing here tonight, we're teaming up with the Rogues. So what this is doing is that it's bringing new eyes to not only wrestling, but it's bringing wrestling eyes into the game of basketball as well, right? So here we got Cameron Stevens laying the body to Heavenly Body Dick Daniels. So his tag team partner tonight is William Marsh. And Dick's partner is Belliano, who's pretty wild. So it's going to be a pretty good night. Pretty good night.
So you've been on the go for 2 years. Is this the first time that you've ever done a thing with the Rogues, or is this the second time, or how does that work?
This is our second time here with the Rogues. They've been great to us. So we were here last year, went over a lot better than we all thought. And they jumped on us and wanted us to come back as soon as we could. And we jumped on the opportunity right as they offered it. So
where's your organization? Where are you based out of right now?
Wild. ACW is based out of the Bay Roberts area currently. We're working on expanding, going over the province more, and looking to make it more of a province-wide situation.
Now, I gotta ask, we've seen some wild stuff here in like the 5 minutes that we've been here. Does this hurt? Like when you hit this?
It's not nice. I'm really not looking forward to getting into myself again, but there's not much padding, just a lot of steel and wood and passion. A lot of passion goes in behind it.
I gotta ask, like, so they're putting their bodies on the line. Is it just for the passion? Is that what drives these wrestlers here behind us?
I'm gonna say if you don't have passion, you can't really be involved with it. So without passion, they wouldn't be at it. It's nothing much more. They all got a lot of heart, and they put their heart and soul into this, and that's what we love.
What does it mean for you to be able to have this, like, look at this audience. Curtis, can we get a quick shot? So look like you're at a basketball game, Mary Brown Center, the largest stadium in the province. What does this mean for your little organization to get this kind of exposure like you're getting here tonight?
It's really big to us. It's not just big to us as like an organization because we're expanding eyes, but like for a lot of guys like myself, we don't get the opportunity to work in this big arena, right? So it's kind of like a big match feel, big stadium feel, and like, you know, it's goosebumps. It's the only way we can describe it.
Whoa, there goes the bell. Whoa, whoa. Now, I know that it's not just Victorious again. Now, it's not just tonight. Just plug it tonight, and will they see it again tomorrow night? How does that work?
Yeah, we're here tonight, and we're here tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we got our championship match. We're going to see Maverick Matt Wheeler defend his belt against returning Moondog Dylan Davis, who's moving home. So it's pretty big.
Perfect, man. Thanks so much for doing this, Brandon. We appreciate it. This has been wild. And like I said, they'll be doing another show at halftime, and then they'll be doing it again on Saturday. This is amazing. Anyways, it's the wildest thing I think I've done live on TV. Anyways, reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Jeremy Eaton down at the Mary Brown Center. Woo!
Returning now to one of our top stories, Canada is marking the second anniversary of the start of the Ukraine war by imposing more sanctions on Russia. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly made the announcement today. It's a joint initiative with the UK and the US. The US Deputy Treasury Secretary explained the purpose for taking this step.
You should expect to see sanctions and actions taken by countries that are part of our coalition as well, that are focused on accomplishing our two goals, making sure that Russia can't get access to the goods they need to build the weapons that they want, and also taking responsibility for slowing down Russia's access to the revenues they need to prop up their economy, but also to build the weapons that they want going forward.
Well, the sanctions are meant as a response not just to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, but also to the recent death of Alexei Navalny. He was an outspoken critic of Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Navalny died in a Russian penal colony last week under suspicious circumstances. The Liberals and NDP have reached a deal on pharmacare. The federal government will cover the cost of birth control and diabetes medication. NDP leader Jagmeet Singh spoke to the CBC about the deal, which is central to the Supply and Confidence Pact between the two parties.
We've secured something really important, I'd say really historic for Canadians. We're really excited about this. We have legislation that clearly points to single payer. It references the Canada Health Act and the principles of the Canada Health Act, very much what we needed to get, so that's secured. In addition, we have a commitment to cover two classes of drugs in a single payer model. So proof of concept, we're actually delivering. This is well and above what we had in our agreement. So this is something that's going to make a big difference in the lives of Canadians. The two classes of medication that are covered, contraceptives as well as diabetes medication.
The joys of swimming outdoors in Newfoundland and Labrador all year long. Watch Outdoor Dipping, Sunday at 11:30 and Monday at 7.
Well, it's Friday, so let's find out who's celebrating. Happy 68th anniversary to Norman and Erla Butt of Swift Current, Placentia Bay. Congratulations to Jim and Betty Cooper of St. John's. It's their 53rd anniversary. Wishing Ford and Emma Rumbold of Mary's Harbor a happy 56th anniversary. It's a golden anniversary for Lovis and Eunice Barter of Three Rock Cove. Happy 63rd anniversary to Pleeman and Marjorie King of Valleyfield. Congratulations to Dave and Elsie Woodford of Lewisport on their 50th anniversary. Happy 58th anniversary to Wilfred and Georgina Kinsella of St. Anthony, now living in Deer Lake. Everett and Olga Gregory from Lewisport are celebrating 69 years of marriage. Wishing George and Gloria Noseworthy of Leading Tickles a happy anniversary. It's their 61st. Cyril and Jeanette Peckford of Lewisport are also marking 61 years of marriage. Anniversary greetings going out to Bill and Bonnie Bonnell of Pasadena. They're marking 57 years together. Best wishes to Jack and Beatrice Han of Burgeo on their 61st anniversary. Norman and Helen Kendall of Morrisville, Bay de Spear. They're also celebrating 61 years together. Happy 50th anniversary today to Rowena and Jack Moland of Ragged Harbor. It's a 67th anniversary for Edgar and Dinah Wells from Trinity Bay, now living in Gander. Happy 64th anniversary to Guy and Floss Freak of Glenwood, now living in Gander. Greetings from family and friends. Happy 61st wedding anniversary to Chesley and Julia Gill in Mount Pearl. Congratulations to Brenda and Wayne Lankin of St. John's. They're celebrating 50 years of marriage. Happy 57th anniversary to Carl and Maud Elliott of Raleigh. Wishing Jean and Ron Ackerman of Wareham a happy 56th anniversary. Happy 61st anniversary to Lily and Joe Clark of Bishop's Cove. Now to some birthdays. Happy birthday to Margaret LaFrenz of Isle of Mort. She turns 90 this Sunday. We hope you have a lovely birthday, Margaret. Happy birthday to Lena Grandy of Garnish. She just celebrated her 90th birthday. Happy 96th birthday to Jean Walters of Boat Harbor West. Wishing Evelyn Linthorne of Bonavista a happy 93rd birthday. Another trip around the sun for Geraldine Hiscock from Corner Brook. Geraldine just turned 93. Happy birthday to Jane Smith of St. John's. She's turning 97. Birthday greetings going out to Clarence Smith on his 96th birthday. He's in Grand Falls, Windsor. Happy 96th birthday to Joseph Newhook of Norman's Cove. Best wishes to Herbert Norris of Deer Lake on his 92nd birthday. Wishing Doreen Penton of Pooch Cove, now living in Torbay, a happy 90th birthday. Happy 96th birthday to Janie Riggs of Grand Bank. Birthday greetings going out to Leslie Fifield of Cape Friels on his 90th birthday today. Wishing Dorothy Ross of Buren a happy 95th birthday today. Birthday greetings going out to Sister Brendan Lynch, who turns 93 tomorrow. Mary Jennings is turning 99. She's from Valley Pond and now lives in Twillingate. Happy 91st birthday to Elsie Bungie of Seal Cove, now in Harbor Breton. And happy birthday to Amy Porter, who just turned 90. Lots of love from family and friends. Another fine crowd. I love watching the birthdays and anniversaries and all the different names. I think if I were like naming a child, that would be a good place to go to look for some old school interesting names.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I like that.
Anyways, yeah, it's Friday, so we're moving into the weekend. Long range forecast. Tomorrow's going to be beautiful for a lot of us.
For the first part of the day, yep. We certainly are, but lots of rain on the west coast. So let's take a look at what's going to happen as we head into the evening hours. It's going to take its time, that rain moving east through the night. So it'll, for the most part, we'll see those showers for the eastern half of the island through the overnight period. But those temperatures on the west coast are going to plummet through the night on Saturday. So like I said, any pooling of that water will freeze up through the overnight. So you're definitely going to want to keep that in mind. Then we've still got some snow and windy conditions for coastal areas of Labrador as well. Another round will move through Sunday evening. But for the most part, those temperatures will drop through the day across the island. Now, temperature around 2 degrees in St. John's. In fact, even in the morning, they'll be a little bit warmer than that, but they will drop as the day goes on. And then up across Labrador, back down into the minus teens, or into the minus teens for the northern portion, but really dropping between -7 and -12 across a good portion of the Big Land. So Sunday evening into Monday, we'll actually see some clearing skies. Still some lingering flurry activity, though, on the west coast. But as we get into Monday morning, generally a beautiful day. We will see those clouds, though, on the increase as we head into the evening hours, and we will see some snow move across the Big Land as well into the evening hours on Monday. Generally, we will see, though, the snow move in late day, or at least the potential for some snow to move in late day for the Avalon. But again, our temperatures are going to be a bit of a roller coaster over the next couple of days. Certainly into Monday, we'll see that those temperatures into the minus single digits across the island, and definitely a roller coaster up across Labrador. Your temperatures dropping on Sunday, warming back up again on Monday. And really your daytime highs will sit anywhere from about -2 to -7 through the afternoon hour. So that roller coaster, the story again for St. John's and Eastern Newfoundland, dropping, like I said, on Monday. Tuesday hovering around 0, but back up again on Wednesday as we see a pretty nice stretch of weather actually Tuesday and Wednesday with some sunshine in the mix there. And really looks like we'll see some warming through all of next week, which will feel very spring-like and have that melting as well. Now for central Newfoundland, you're looking at your temperatures around the 0 degree mark for Tuesday, back up again around 5 degrees on Wednesday with some sunshine in the mix. And then for western Newfoundland, that warm up will happen for you as well. A little bit more gradual though. And really it looks like it should warm up again on Thursday as well. So flurries for Tuesday, Wednesday looks decent at this point. Now for Eastern Labrador, you're warming up again above 0 by the time we get into Wednesday. And then for Western Labrador, you'll see some either showers or flurries for Wednesday as well, with your temperature around +1. Now this photo is a lovely shot of the morning moon in Winterton.
Giant.
Isn't it beautiful?
Gorgeous.
I love it when we get that that view. It's beautiful. Thank you so much for that. If you have any weather photos that you would like to share with us from, you know, what may be a beautiful weekend in the east, but lots of rain in the west, you can send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Yeah, quite the difference tomorrow in temperatures between Western Labrador and Western Newfoundland. To use Jeremy's word, it is wild. It's like
wild.
-17 in Western Labrador, +8 in Western Newfoundland. Yeah.
Lots of, hopefully we don't see too much flooding, but definitely keep that in mind. That potential is certainly there.
Yeah, and if you're in the east on the island, definitely a day to get out tomorrow, go for a hike or do some kind of outdoor activity.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it for us on this Friday evening. Hope you have a great weekend.
Good night.